Morning, hope you're having a good one. Today I am going to vlog myself taking photos of my car, mainly because I wanted to do a vlog for a while and I have not had the balls to do it. I do now because you guys wanted to see one, so here is a vlog about me taking photos of my car. The car in question today is my VW Golf GTI Club Sport, which is a fucking mouthful, but it is a car I've only had for about a week, so I thought it was about time I went out and took some photos of it. And as I said, this is my first vlog, so we're just going to see how it goes. We're going to be roaming around or driving around the New Forest today. Got a couple of nice spots lined up, and we're going to start with this spot. So hope you enjoy, let's have some fun. We're going to start in this spot, which I have no idea where it is, to be honest, so let's just wing it. Oh God. So, location number 2 I am at now. I didn't record anything at number 1 in terms of vlog wise because a bunch of school kids walked up on a school trip, and I'm not doing my first vlog in front of 20 kids. That is not happening. So I've just finished at location number 2, which is a place called Hatchett's Pond, and as you can tell from the drone footage, it's basically just a huge lake / ponds, but in the morning, as we're shooting now, it's really calm, so the reflections you can get off it on the tree line is amazing. I didn't manage to get that, I didn't take many good car photos, mainly because the water's actually moved quite a way away from the car park, and I'm not risking getting my car any closer for obvious bloody reasons. So photos were good, okay car photos. Obviously we'll see how good they are in the edit, but off to number 3 now. Hopefully it's a little bit better suited for car photos, but hey, we'll figure it out. So far so good, touch wood. Right, see you at location number 3. So location number 3. It's really sketch, I'm not gonna lie. It's literally parked to the side of the road. If I show you where it is, it's literally parked to the side of the road there. Look, there's no yellow lines, so it's perfectly legal. But what I wanted to get was the wood line and the tree line behind there to add just a bit of context and depth to it. It's quite a difficult place to shoot, obviously, some by the side of the road, so I've got to take care. But yeah, you kind of see what I was implying. It is the only pane I can see, if I can just cross the road, is where I've had to like drop it off the road. It's just a little, it's not square, it's not flat, which is a pain in the arse photography wise, but necessary to keep it as far off the road as possible. Didn't want to go anywhere over here because it was just too many potholes, but actually that line, the water puddle shadow, looks sick as well. So we're gonna have a play around, see what we can do, and yeah, that's about it. Hopefully it works well and no one hits my car, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So this is the 4th part of the vlog that I'm going to be filming. It's going to be a very quick one because my arm aches like hell from holding this camera, and it is the 4th time that I have managed to not turn my mic on, so this is the 5th attempt of me doing it. Excellent. So if you can see, once again I'm by the side of a road. I've driven up and down this road 3 times to kind of suss out the area, and it's quite a good one. All this car coming, so I'm going to be awkward vlogging. What I wanted to get is that there's nice haze coming in, but I can't actually quite, I can't get the car there because it's quite a steep verge on the other side. So that's what I'm going to have to do with. I wanted the woodland in the background, so that's really cool. Adds a bit of context and depth. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm kind of just winging it. It's a really beautiful car. I wanted to get some contrast between the dark colours and the white. And I'm just going to have fun with it and play around with it. I will see you in the edit. and I guess we can judge then whether the photos are good or not. So last bit of looking at the car, more people staring at me like a fucking weirdo, but hey, cool. Yeah, see you in the edit. Last one. So, welcome to my studio, welcome to my attic. This is where I do all my edits and I work from, so this is where we're going to make the video. I recorded the video, I took the photos on the Thursday, I'm recording this on the Friday. I couldn't be bothered to do it last night, so we're doing it now. The way this is going to work is I'm going to take you through 4 of the images I took, 1 from each location, and what I am going to try and do is talk you through my thought process, why I did what I did, some of the techniques I used, and basically over just my general thought process. This is the first time I've done this, so some things might be technically wrong, some things might be, I could have done differently to get a better result, but we're just gonna have fun with it. I had fun editing these. I'm quite proud of how some of them turned out first time round. So yeah, let's dive into it. Let me show you photo number 1 from location 1. Let's go. So welcome to image number, not welcome. Okay, so image number 1. The first thing you'll be able to tell is that it's in black and white. Now the reason I made it black and white using one of my presets is that it was very early in the morning. The sun hadn't actually reached past the tree line yet, so there was very little sunlight, natural light. So instead of trying to just, fight the colours and bring colours out, I just thought, let's whack it in black and white. It will make the best out of a bad situation. I wanted to use reflections. It rained the night before quite heavily, so there was a lot of puddles in the car park. I thought I'll position the car a couple of meters back from the puddle so that I can get at least a little bit of reflection. The one thing which really annoyed me about the shot is this little bit of gravel that's in the middle of the pond. It would look so much better if I took that out or if that just wasn't there, but I'm not going to spend hours and hours trying to Photoshop that out and mask in. It's just not going to happen. So that's a bit of annoying, but in terms of the techniques I used a linear gradient filter to go over the puddle. I wanted to try and keep the crispness of, and the sharpness of the reflection. Just, I think it would add a little bit more to the image. I didn't want to overpower it. I didn't want to over-exaggerate it because it would take away from the actual car. But I think it just plays, the reflection helps create more context and sets the stage, if you like, for the image. I used the brush tool just to go over the car. I wanted to bring out some of the whites so I could contrast the white to the blacks in the tree line. I also, again, used it to sharpen up and add clarity to the car. That's image number 1. We're going to move on to image number 2 now, which was taken 5 minutes down the road at another location. So let's have a look at that one now. Okay, image number 2. Now, image number 2 was taken at a place in the New Forest called Hatchett's Pond, which is quite well known for its boomerang or hatchet-shaped pond. It says it in the name. But if you get here early enough in the morning, it's so peaceful. The nature's out, the tree line reflects in the calmness of the water, and it works quite well. I did spot another puddle, so I'm going to add the puddle in. I think it adds just a bit more composition to it. I kind of went overboard with trying to use reflections, but I think the image turned out pretty well. I knew when I turned up to this location that I wanted to get the landscape involved. I think it adds a bit of context and it complements the car quite well. It adds more of a story to the image. And I think that's quite important if it's used well, or it works really well if it's used well. So I positioned the car to the left of the image to get that context and get the landscape in. The sky is completely natural. I know loads of people will be looking at it going, oh, you've just sky replaced that. I haven't sky replaced it. It's completely natural. What I did is I dehazed it a bit. I increased the dehaze in it, so I made it sharper. Added a little bit of saturation to the sky just to bring out the colours a bit more. And that is about it. I didn't do anything drastic. I didn't sky replace this image. But I think it acts quite nice as a negative space above the car, and then having the reflection at the bottom also adds more negative space. I like how the car seems almost sandwiched in between the sky and the puddle. The one thing I would do different about this image is that the black clump of trees on the right side of the image is quite dark. I think if you look at this image long enough, it does take your eye away from the car, which is a shame. So I think if I was going to re-edit it or I was going to take the photo again, I'd definitely increase the exposure. I could do a quick edit now. I could use a radial filter to go over that and just bring it up, but I think it would just look a bit tacky if I rushed it. So I'm not going to do that. Overall, I think it's quite a nice image. I did also use a brush tool just to go over the car, same as I did in the last image. You know, wanted to bring out the white, wanted to make the actual front of the car as sharp as I could without overemphasizing it. Again, there were things that, as I said, there were things I would do differently, but overall, I think it's a good first attempt. I'm really happy to be able to keep the colours in. I think that's the biggest thing I'll take away from this, is that I did quite well enhancing and keeping the colours in. So I don't know if that helped, but that's photo number 2. Let's move on to photo number 3. Okay, image number 3. Now, image number 3, I will come straight out of the bat and say that it was my most photoshopped edit. I sky replaced the sky with just a stock Adobe sunset filter, just because I thought actually it looked quite nice. I kind of told myself I was just going to play around with this photo and it will be what it will be. Couple of thought processes. I wanted to use the white lines in the middle of the road as leading lines, leading the eye towards the sunset, but also past the car. It was a difficult shot, mainly because I was in the middle of the road. I didn't have much time to plan it or prep it, but I did quite enjoy it. I'm quite happy how this turned out. Again, as I said, I just wanted to play around with it, see what happened. Couple of the things I used a radial filter just to go over the car, bring out the whites, same as I've done before. A radial filter is a really good way of doing it because you just go over the car and then you can erase the excess around the car. It's quite a quick, easy way of doing it. I also used a linear filter just to go over the tarmac to increase the clarity and then also to add a bit of saturation to it just to allow it to blend with the sky properly. This was quite an interesting photo. I do really like this image. It is definitely my most photoshopped image, as I said. I don't normally over edit my photos or photoshop my images at all, but I just thought let's just give it a whirl. Why not? You know, and I think it might be something I do more of, but I'm on the fence in between whether a photo should be highly photoshopped or not. I think in some cases it's good because it increases the impact of the image, but in some cases I think actually you can overstep the line with it. So in short, that is my third image. Let's have a look at the last image. Okay, so last image, last but not least. This was probably my favourite spot location for, mainly just because of the wood in the background. It was a little lay-by just by the side of the road. I drove past it, not expecting to stop, and actually it really caught my attention. So I was like, yeah, let's just use that as location 4. The main thing I can tell you straight away from the image is obviously there's lots of orange on the left-hand side of the image. This was made by leaves I just picked up on the floor. I just found some leaves, whacked it up to the lens, and I think it worked out quite well. I just wanted to add a little bit of colour. I wanted to add a little bit of, almost composure to the image. Just have fun with it, to be honest. But then I also wanted it to feel like you were part of the car and the scene was part of the woods. It wasn't just a car in front of the woods, kind of, almost kind of 2-dimensional. I wanted to try and make it a bit more 3-dimensional. And I don't know if I did that or not, but I think it looks cool. The one thing I did try and do with the orange is I wanted to try and match it to the orange in the background. I wanted to try and bring out the background to match the leaves. I don't know how well I did that. I think I did that quite well, but it was quite hard trying to match greens to oranges and try and create that overall sense of warmth from quite a cold scene. But the trees were a bit out of focus. The trees were quite cold that day. The tones I got off it were quite cold. So I did have that kind of trying to enhance the warmth, if you like. I don't know if any of this is making sense to you, but it's making sense to me. I wanted to then the final thing I tried to think about was just creating that contrast between the car and the woodland. So using the brush tool, I toned down the exposure of the car a little bit. It was the only image of the 4 that I actually toned it down. Added a bit more clarity, not too much, but I wanted to try and keep that reflection of the trees in the windscreen, on the windscreen. So touched that up a little bit, added some sharpness to it, and that's about it. So that is it for my first vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching a video about me doing something for the first time that I had no idea what I was doing. But I hope it was useful. I hope it was something that makes you go, oh yeah, I'm going to go and shoot cars now. It's something that I'm going to try, why not? I doubt anyone would, maybe as a 21-year-old, would let you have their keys to the Mercedes, but maybe that's just me. So go out there, have a try. I hope it's maybe made you think about a couple of things that you haven't done before, or maybe you have, or maybe even just go on and tell you what, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, just gone, Wilf, you have no idea what you were talking about. Stop making photography videos. Maybe it's that. I don't care. Let me know in the comments. Do everything every other YouTube tells you to do. Like, subscribe, and comment. I want feedback that will actually help me grow. Positive feedback, negative feedback, what I did wrong, what I did right, what you liked. And just let me know. It's totally chill. If you want, you can also follow my Instagram that I've linked below. Why not? Do it. I post a lot more on there than I do on here. So, yeah, to save me waffling on, thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next vlog when I come round to watching it. When I come around to making it. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.